Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Out of all, I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for sharing the videos, comment, and everything. We are really grateful. We are really grateful. Yadamase. We continue with the religious teachings, and we are discussing Islamic religion. We are done with the pre-Islamic era. We came to how the revelation started with the Prophet of Islam, and we are discussing the Quran. Which chapter came first, which chapter came second, and maybe even third. We are having this. And then I brought the tafsir to tafsir. I intentionally did that because I know that some of these tafsirs are not recognizable, are not, they don't, some of the Islamic scholars don't see them as anything. Islamic scholars has their favorites. They has their favorite books. Ibn Kathir is common tafsir with every malam. Unlike when you go to the Tijaniyas, they has the tafsir they prefer and all that. But I brought this ones for a reason. I brought Kashaf and I brought the one with Tantawi, the Tantawi's own, because this one contains almost 4 tafsir. Now, I want to conclude the part of this whole Quran thing. You know, in the Surah, you see how there's so many confusion about which surah came first, which one is second, and which one is third. In one book, 3 different opinions. And then we came to the Quran, and then I picked the Qurans, and you heard the last video. Now, I want to conclude with the tafsirs and show you something. I'm not going to read much. I want to draw your attention on certain things, and then I will read some 1 or 2 stuffs here and tell you something about an incident that happened to Prophet of Islam, and let's see. And we will end it, and then the next video will be how the Prophet of Islam lived Mecca, how he was handling, or how he the relationship between himself and the people of Mecca when he said he's a prophet. First of all, I want to say this. Some people still have problem with what we are doing. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Some even call me and tell me they love to hear the spiritual teachings more than this one. Their favorite teaching is the spiritual teachings, so they love to hear it. Thank you very much. I appreciate. But if you grow up from the community I grew up, you will understand me. If you grow up with the belief I grew up with, you will understand me. Let me tell you, nobody takes life serious when there is a sky daddy who is responsible for everything. That is why poverty is an emblem in Islamic dominated areas, Islamic dominated countries. I was making a submission on a TikTok live video with some friends, and someone was like, Malaysia has developed. it is Islamic developed country. My brother, relax. You haven't gotten the idea yet. You haven't gotten the idea yet. There are places where they put development ahead before the religion comes in. And there are places where religion is number one. Afghanistan is raked. Afghanistan is destroyed. Afghanistan, I say, religion. Pakistan, omuye hiafo, opekura omuye hiafo. Pakistan kahon religion. Conscious statistics. Kura omu bompa ye esin obia ye the most poorest countries. What are you saying? The countries that pray more than any other country are the most poorest countries. Beshe Ghana, bebia ye fre zongo, ehwane ehiawo. Fa mic ni camera, na fako sim kwala su zongo. Na hwe, what was the last time a parent sorry abon kwala akonhoma? So many number of children, no better place to sleep. And the reason for this problem in Zongo communities is distance, religion and the religious teachings. Religion and the religious teachings. And since it is from distance that is coming from, we are exposing distance for them to know that distance are nothing. There is nothing here. And you can't use your life. You can't base your life on distance. Anybody that want to develop or be you can't base your life on distance. Northern Nigeria, just last 2 weeks, a grown-ass malams are arguing on photograph. Say a haram, obi say or enya haram. Papa fuania bodwe, omo fua bodwe. Grown-ass people called malams, sheikhs, ustazes. Some of them are even doctors, PhD in Islamic religion. Pardon my manners. What I've realized is that the more one becomes more educated in religious studies, the more they become damp. Pardon my manners. Sabi. The more we acquire degree, religious knowledge, now or ye more damp. Na dreamu kata. People with doctor degrees, so mukita doctor degree in Islamic knowledge and in are arguing photograph haram. Yeka haram wa Islam mua echere se adia uya na wan sakra Allah be hyew ewo jem atemuada. That is haram. That is haram. Grown-ass people arguing photograph is haram or photograph is not haram. And haram means anything that you indulge in and you didn't repent and you died upon it, you're gonna go to hell. Allah will burn you for hell. Allah will burn you in hell for that. So what it means is that a photographer will go to hell. You that they are taking, you that snatch pictures, you will go to hell. Just last week, a grown-ass malams were arguing. Nkosia sem say ya sabi. Yedibobra. Be share your community. Ehia. Edanya nipa dem in the way communities, most of the houses and the rooms we stay in today in Zongo community, When you see those houses and you see those rooms, it is not a conducive place for human being to live in, to have a healthy life. Na edan amanfo team wo zongo communities no sabi esenantwe wo sabi zongo community, the rooms, not any these Malams that has connections with Arabs. They only build mosques and design the mosque. Go to Islamic communities and pay attention to something. If you are a man for them, you know, if you dada, I fee zindana ye koko, but ube ultramodern mosque. It was our community. It is coming from distance. This nonsense, these garbages, tafsir al-Qur'an, hadith, Quranic teaching, hadith, sirah, tawhid, akida, iman. This is where it's coming from. And tina ye bubu san nyamo we egu. I speak out of pain. I'm coming from there. Nti ehona me feedback to minimni America. O fi ho ba, o beti ase. Bisa zongo ni abaywa. O nyinu, how was life? Bisa zongo ni youth. Munafikai ana faman kwance ku cikin chain. Kuna tama mu ne masu laifi da wadanga ka da daure ku. Gidaden mu na kama da akulkin kaji. Gidaden mu na kama da akulkin kaji. She a zo a yi rankame mai masallaci. A gyara kawata masallaci, gidaden mu na kama da akulkin kaji. Cikin muke kwana, cikin muke tashi. Yara biyar da baba da umma. Yara biyar da baba da umma daki guda. Can ban wo yara biyar sun girma da wadanga. Sakaran jiya an je Juma'a, an je an ce imani. We are telling you to leave yourself, to free yourself from these chains, and you think we are the problem. 5 kids with their father and the mother in chamber and wall. Some of them a single room and porch. That is how we are living. And the room is not even a room with a standard that human being will live in and have better life. Enye nubi, yakasa amukasa yana yenye. So those of you who think this is a problem, you should look around your community first. Today, your Malams that are instigating you to come after me, they have the opportunity to take money from Arabs and build big houses. The dresses they wear is more expensive. Their houses, big houses. It is in your name that they take those money to build those mosques and live in big houses. You are living in Nanchebu. Yeah, kasa amukasa yana yenye. Anyway, you see, yeah, discussing Qur'an na enune kita life, nikramoni life. No, we are talking about the Qur'an. I said it before and I'm repeating it. Listen, nobody knows which of the Qur'an chapters came first. Nobody knows which of the Qur'an chapters came second. And nobody knows which of the Qur'an chapters came last. Only Obia, nobody knows. Nobody knows. This is a Qur'an from Allah. Nobody knows. It is very intriguing. Nobody knows. This is a Qur'an from Allah. Nobody knows. Now, see, Qur'an chapter number 73 and 74 is some kind of confusion, which is Muzammil and Mudathir. Now, Muzammil means the enshrouded one, the one that has covered himself with clothes. Mudathir is also the enshrouded one, the one that has covered himself with clothes. All the 2 surahs, all the 2 chapters, that is what they are for. Muzammil is talking about someone that has enshrouded, covered himself with clothes. Mudathir, the same thing. Now, these two surahs are two different things. They are two different surahs. 73, Quran 73, chronologically, Quran 73 and Quran 74. But almost the same thing. Forget about the name, Muzammil, Mudathir. Now, the incident that led to Muzammil and Mudathir, was it one incident or two? Now, listen to a report that Kashaf brought, the Mu'tazilat scholar. Listen to it. This is volume 4 of the Quran exegesis of the man, Al-Kashaf. Page 487. Now listen. He says, Surah Al-Mudathir. This is chapter of Mudathir. He brought Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and then he brought the first 5 verses. Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, kum fa'anzir, wa rabbaka fakabbir, wa thiyabaka fatahhir, wa rujiza fahjur. This is Quran chapter number 4, number 74, as we discussed in the previous video. Now listen. He tried to explain the word mudaththir, and he says the word mudaththir is labisud dithar. Mudaththir comes from dithar. Labisud dithar, someone that is wearing dithar, a cloth known as dithar, atadie. Wahua, he says, dithar, no, that dress called dithar, wahua, it is ma fawqa shi'ar, is a cloth that one wear direct to connect with the body. A cloth, the first cloth you wear, which will touch the skin. Wahua, it is a thawb alladhi yali al-jasad. It is a dress that touches the skin. So it means direct atabia ushawa from you wear. That is what they call dithar. So someone that covered himself with such a dress is known as mudaththir. Wa minhu qawluhu alayhi salatu wassalam, and he brought hadith. Let's leave the hadith. He said al-ansar shi'ar wa nas dithar. Let's put that one aside. Now listen. Wakila, it is said here that Surah Al-Mudaththir, Quran chapter 74, awwal Surah nazalat, first chapter to be revealed. Mudaththir, not Ikra anymore. I've said this in the previous video. Don't worry. There is what I want to do here. Warawa Jabir, a companion, a disciple of Prophet Muhammad, reported. Bun Abdullah, Jabir, the son of Abdullah, who was a companion, a disciple of Prophet of Islam, that received these messages, reported, and Rasulullah, from the apostle of Allah, Kuntu ala Jabalin. Muhammad says, I was on a mountain Hira, Fanuditu, and I was called, Ya Muhammad, O Muhammad, Innaka Rasulullah, you are apostle of Allah. Someone called me. فَنَظَرْتُ عَنْ يَمِينِي وَيَسَارِي فَلَمْ أَرَ شَيْئًا. Then I watched my left and right, I didn't see anything. فَنَظَرْتُ فَوْقِي فَرَأَيْتُ شَيْئًا. And I watched on top of me and I saw something. Now, this hadith is muttafaqun alayhi. meaning all the scholars of. Okay. This hadith is muttafaqun alayhi. This prophetic narration talking about this verse is muttafaqun alayhi. All the meaning muttafaqun alayhi means all the scholars of hadith, prophetic narration, prophetic tradition has agreed upon it that it is authentic. So if it is authentic, then it is Quran chapter 74 that came first, not Quran chapter 96, which is Iqra, right? Fine. Now listen. وفي رواية عائشة. Now Jabir bin Abdullah, who was a companion to Muhammad, says the first surah to reveal to Muhammad is Mudaththir, Quran chapter 74. Now listen to Aisha. There's a report from Aisha, the wife of Prophet of Islam, saying, فَنَظَرْتُ فَوْقِي, the same hadith, but there's a slight change. فَنَظَرْتُ فَوْقِي, and I watched on top of me. فَإِذَا بِهِ قَائِدٌ عَلَى عَرْشٍ, and then I saw him, قَائِدٌ, sitting عَلَى عَرْشٍ بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ, sitting on a throne between the sky and the earth. Yani al-Malak, he means the angel, alladhi nadahu, the angel that called him. فَرُعِبْتُ وَرَجَعْتُ إِلَى خَدِيجَةَ, I became frightened and then I went back to Khadija, my first wife. فَقُلْتُ, and I say to her, Dathiruni, cover me, cover me, cover me. Now listen to the problem here. I told you we haven't gone nowhere yet. This is just a preamble in the beginning of the revelation of the Quran. Nsemhunu we achechere yen ache. Wadanga batutuwan banza su suka kawo rayuwar mutane cikin talauci, suka sa rayuwar mutane cikin talauci, cikin matattaran zango, kuma ga shiriritan da ke cikin. Dathiruni, cover me, cover me, cover me. Now, per the explanation of the word mudathir, which means a dress that has direct contact with the body, which means you don't have any dress, there is no dress before you put that one in. The reason for this explanation that this scholar is doing is that Arabs have so many ways of dressing. They have what they call al-kaba. They put a dress down and then they put that one at the top. Now you see your malams or members who want to be like Arabs, who want to look like Arabs. They wear what they call jalabiya, the white gown, Arabs dress. They want to look like their paymasters, Arab scholars. So they wear the white one down and then they put on a particular one. Some is black, some is yellow, various colors. Now, the white one they wear under, as far as it has direct contact with the skin, it means that what? That one is dithar. Irrespective of having a singlet down or not, wearing a singlet is not in the culture of Arabs. Let's put that one aside. If the explanation of mudathir is the one that is wearing a dress that has direct contact to the skin, does it mean that Prophet Muhammad went to the cave naked? There is no any cloth on his skin. So it was when he came back to Khadija that Khadija gave him a cloth that has direct contact with the body. Hauka the shiririta. Now, I don't know whether you get the point. Yantu was where. Now, Ila Khadija said, the thirunu, cover me, cover me, cover me. Now, the word dathara means to have a cover, to cover yourself with something that has direct contact with your body. Something that has direct contact with your body. So does it mean that the man was naked and it is now that you put something on? He wasn't wearing a cloth. You, Mate. Fanazala Jibril. And Jibril came. The same Malak he saw, the same angel he saw came, Waqala, and said, Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, oh you who is covered. Now, this is the point. So, the report of Aisha and the report of Jabir is saying Quran chapter number 74 is the first chapter. Now, before Zuhri, another hadith scholar brought the issue of Ikra. Now he came frightened and he asked his wife to cover him, and Mudathir came. Now, what about Quran chapter number 73, Muzammil? What about that one? The same book, Al-Kashaf. Now let me take you to 73, which also has the same idea of being enshrouded, being covered. Now listen. Surah Al-Muzammil, now page 479, Al-Kashaf. Okay, now listen. Surah Al-Muzammil, the chapter of Muzammil, Quran 73. Makkiyah, it is revealed in Makkah. It was revealed in Makkah. Illa ayat ashara ida ashar wa ishrun. It was revealed in Makkah except 3 verses out of the remaining verses. You have this incident in the Quran. You have a whole chapter being said it is revealed in Makkah, but some few verses are part of the chapter that are not from Makkah, just like this one. It is a chapter that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, Prophet of Islam, in Makkah. But out of the whole chapter, Quran chapter 73, verse 10, verse 11, and verse 20 was not revealed to him in Makkah. Now, is it that when the is it that when verse 9 came, the verse didn't come again? No verse has came in this chapter until, and then the 11th, the 10th, and the 11th one didn't come, and then the 12th verse and the 13th verse of the chapter, and 14th, 15th, 16th, all the way to 19th verse of the chapter came and were documented. Before later, when he moved to Medina, before 10, 11, 20 came, and they fixed them in. And how did they number it? How did they number the verses? If this is what happened, when how did it happen? Anyway, yendu baby aye. Yabaka wenu na. The original Quran has no numbers anyway. Numbers by na Quran abadada. Just start say your number. Now, listen. From Madaniya, so according to him, verse 10, verse 11, verse 20 are Medina. Wa ayatuha, and all the verses of the Quran chapter number 73, Tis Atashar or Tis Washar, were said to be 19 verses. But yet he says verse 20 of the chapter is from Medina. And Wakila, and they said no, 20 verses. So no consensus of Quran chapter number 73. Some say 20 verses, some say 19. So to some, those that said 19, the verse 20 is missing. This is not the time for that. Now listen. He brought 4 verses out of it, and he says, Ya ayyuhal muzammil, qum al-layla illa qalila, nisfahu aw inqus minhu qalila, aw zid alayhi wa rattil al-Qur'ana tartila. Okay, now listen. He says Al-Muzammil. He's now coming to explain the meaning of Al-Muzammil. He says, Al-Mutazammil. وهو الذي, he is the one that tazammala fi thiyabihi, the one that has covered himself in his clothes. Ay talaffafa biha, meaning he has shrouded himself with his clothes. Bi idgami ta fi za, this is Arabic language. Wanahu, example, mudaththir, just like al-mudaththir, just like Quran chapter 74, just like that, mutadaththir. Wakuri a mutazammil, some people recite, instead of ya ayyuhal muzammil, some people recite it ya ayyuhal mutazammil. Ala asl wal muzammil bi ta'fifi za wa fathil mim wa kasriha. This is not what we want. Now listen to this. He says, وهو الذي زمله غيره أو زمل نفسه. He says, وَكَانَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ, the apostle of Allah, نَائِمًا, was asleep, بِاللَّيْلِ, in the night, مُتَزَمِّلًا, covered, shrouded with his clothes, فِي قَطِيفَةٍ, in blanket, قَطِيفَة, blanket, فَنُبِهَا, and then he was awaked, وَنُودِيَ, and called, bima yahjunu ilayhi, for what he's supposed to do. Al-halati allati kana alayha min al-mutazammil. Now, this one, Quran chapter 73 and Quran chapter 74 are almost similar. 73 says he covered himself sleeping at night in the room, and the angel came, and he was called that he should wake up and pray. Now, listen. This is the beginning. This is part of the beginning of the chapters. Okay. Let's look at what the verses contain. Ya ayyuhal muzammil, oh you who has covered himself, qumil layla, wake up in the night, illa qalila, wake up in the night, like nocturnal, stay at night awake, except qalila, except a few hours in the night that you sleep. Nisfahu, wake up in the half of the night, awinkus, or reduce it, whether at the middle of the night or maybe 1/3 of the night, minhu qalila, aw zida alayhi, or add the hours of staying awake at night, warattilil Qur'ana tartila, and arranged Quran in recitation, and recite Quran accordingly. This is among the early chapters that was revealed. Which of the Quran is you going to recite? Was it the first one that people claim to be Iqra, which was only 5 verses, or Mudaththir, which was said to be the first verse, the first chapter to be revealed, from verse 1 to 5? How is he going to offer the prayer? Is he going to be repeating the Nafila with only 5 verses of Iqra, or 5 verses of Mudaththir, Quran chapter 74? Or with 5 verses of Quran chapter 96? One will say, and to assume we and I had to. Which one is which? This is just the beginning. Now, my producer has signaled me, relax. The next time we will discuss Quran, a whole lot will come. I wanted us to go here to see some things, but the time is due. So we can't read from here, from the Tafsirul Wasit. There's a job coming. Discussing the Quran will be separately, and a lot will come out of it. Thanks for watching. These things are nothing. They are only chains that are putting in our mental mind. Yeah, they are teaching you confusion is Allah. You want to live your life based on confusion. You are waiting for someone to write distance to tell you how to live life. Right? Uwe Juma. Mine is to tell you whether you do the decision, you decide for yourself or not. Hey, you wasn't. Nyama we di enya. Quran is not tempered with. Quran is not tempered with. Enini. If you have something else, say it. People are saying things outside there. They are not able to open camera to say things. Questions are being asked. Omo fefa nchan, omo yiyi ano, ba omo mpese ebe pie, omo de ne namzongo community ho. On to me mfa camera and sing so. Do you know why? It is true. It is real. It is bunch of confusion. Islam is bunch of confusion. That is why majority of Muslims are confused outside there. Religion is confusion. Islam is confusion. Yetiabum. Thanks for watching. The Prophet of Africa. I say to you, bye-bye.